Coming up on today's show, we're hitting the road. It's an entire hour of one-tank trips, and these are spots you can visit year-round. So whether you want to get outdoors or learn something new, we've got you covered. New Day Cleveland starts right now. Welcome to New Day Cleveland. Get ready to buckle up, folks. We're going to show you some of our favorite year-round one-tank trips. From one-of-a-kind museums, behind-the-scenes factory tours, and adventures in the great outdoors. Tell you what, you might want to take notes. So to kick things off, take a flight to Pittsburgh. This zoo is all about the birds. Check out the National Aviary. This beautiful place is a one-of-a-kind aviary that's independent from other zoos. The focus here is on birds and their conservation.
And we have over 500 birds here at the National Aviary, representing over 150 different species.
What can you expect to see here at this zoo for birds?
The National Aviary is unique. We have beautiful, naturalistic, free flight habitats. So you're in the habitats with the animals, and you can just, it's like going to a tropical oasis right here in Pittsburgh. We have the tropical rainforest. We have our wetlands room with beautiful flamingos on their beach. It's just a very unique experience to be able to come. We have daily activities with feedings in our big free flight rooms too, where you can talk to the aviculturists, learn how we care for all these amazing species, and again, learn how to protect their habitats in the wild. So it's just a great, unique place that you're gonna come have such a connection to nature and go away learning so much more while enjoying an amazing experience.
During our visit, we were able to be part of a small group animal encounter featuring an African penguin named Wyatt. Not only are the visitors allowed to pet this little guy, but you'll also learn fascinating facts like there are only 18 species of penguins in the world.
All of the penguin species live either at or south of the equator.
As the holidays quickly approach, there are a lot of really exciting events coming up here, like Season's Greeting Saturdays, featuring a great photo op for your holiday cards, holiday late nights, and different entertainment every evening.
Such as painting a beautiful photo along a professional artist, trivia, or building a gingerbread house. And we have a holiday brunch. If you love brunch, we have an amazing brunch here at the National Aviary as well.
The National Aviary, a great place to learn and relax. And best of all, it's only a one-tank trip away. We're back on the road and ready for handcrafted art. Shop local or learn a new skill at Three Sheep Gallery. There are times when we could all use a creative outlet. 6 years ago, Linda Shevel thought it would be great to have
a place for women to come and knit and make things and sell things.
So she opened Three Sheep, a gallery and workshop for creating handmade clothing and gifts.
We do a lot of weaving and sewing, spinning, knitting. You can take classes here. We make clothing out of our woven fabric, and so that's a very unique thing. Not many people do that.
And when you come here to weave, what can you expect for a first-timer?
We offer a 2-hour session where you come in and you weave on a floor loom that's already warped, so it's already prepared for you. All you need to do is pick out a few colors, and within 5 minutes you're weaving. It's very intuitive.
And age doesn't matter when it comes to weaving.
You can be 5 years old or you could be 85 years old, and it's a level playing field because everybody brings their own creativity to it and their own eye.
I have a daughter and a son, and they were 6 and 9. I came the first time by myself, and when I came home with my weaving, they're like, "Mom, where'd you go? What did you do? That looks cool." And they wanted to give it a try, so I brought them, and they had a blast. I mean, they didn't want to leave.
I love the conversation and the atmosphere. I have met so many incredible women.
The Three Sheep Gallery also offers a full-day retreat where you can bring a few friends, relax, and let your creativity shine.
Oh, I tell people all the time that they need to come here.
If you have any little bit of creativeness in you, you need to come and try this place because it's a definite gem within our area that I'm so glad that I found.
You might not think you're creative, but I said if you can like match your pants to your shirt to your socks, you can weave.
Be ready to be amazed. because you're not going to see any other place like this.
Creativity is down the road, and best of all, it's just a one-tank trip away. Here we go, head southeast of Moundsville, Virginia, where you can climb one of the largest Adena burial mounds in the world. This is Grave Creek Mound, archaeological complex.
Grave Creek Mound is a National Historic Landmark that was built circa 250 BC over a period of 500 years. It is one of the largest Adena burial mounds in the world. The Adena people were the prehistoric people that occupied this land. We know very little, but have gotten a lot of information from excavations at this site in the past. Excavations are no longer carried out, but we work to unravel that mystery. We do know that in 1838, when the mound was excavated, that 3 bodies were found inside, 2 in one chamber and then 1 in another chamber below that. Now, these bodies were believed to be very high-ranking individuals in their community because of the size of this monument. When we look back at the mound builder culture, the interpretation that is made is that these were built as ceremonial sites. So this is yet another example of how they worshiped their fellow tribespeople. We are an interesting site here. We are a museum, we are a National Historic Landmark, and a research center. This site is for the public to come here and get a glimpse into the past of cultures that have long since gone away. The museum is a community museum and a museum that's dedicated to the study of the Grave Creek Mound. And the Archaeological Research Center takes that one step further by classifying the very things that are put on display. We have a fossil collection to show what this area would have looked like in prehistoric times. We find that's very important. We are a prehistoric museum. We are talking about ancestors that have that there are no records of at all, and the best we can do is study and detail this culture that we know a little about. We show the history of this area, we show the history of the state, and that's what we try to focus on the most. We only have one past, and when it's gone, it's forgotten. It's very important to document the past so that others can see how far we've come.
Still to come, history in the making, literally, where you can see a spacecraft being built.
Every day is a new day. Follow New Day Cleveland on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you ready to suit up and head into outer space? Well, the countdown has begun. Get ready, the Moonshot Museum. It's a one-tank trip.
Moonshot Museum is Pittsburgh's first space museum, and it's your gateway to the 21st century space industry. Here at Moonshot Museum, you can see real spacecraft under construction that are going to the moon, and you can also explore an interactive moon base of tomorrow and get a sneak peek at our future on the moon. Moonshot Museum is physically located on the same campus as a working space technology company called Astrobotic. So when you come to Moonshot Museum, we have an entire wall of windows that looks into a working laboratory, a working clean room where you can see real lunar landers under construction. You can get a sneak peek at the Griffin lunar lander, which is now under construction. That will be the largest lunar lander to date in history. It will deliver a 1-ton NASA rover to the moon's south pole on a quest for water ice. We have a lot of popular exhibits here at Moonshot. We obviously have an incredible view through the glass at Spacecraft Under Construction, but you also have an opportunity to design and test a rover looking for ice on the moon for yourself. We have a digital atlas of the moon where you can explore lunar missions from our first steps during the Apollo era to our future frontiers and what's coming next as the world returns to the moon. We have an art station where you can create your own mission patch and scan your artwork and display it on a mountain at the south pole of the moon. You can write or draw your own message to the moon, and we will scan that message and send it to the lunar surface on a future lander being built right here. We have a scavenger hunt where you can explore space careers. Moonshot Museum is also all about going through what our future will be like on the moon. So you can come see a spacecraft under construction and then engage in some fun interactives and imagine what it would be like to create a moon base in the future. Pittsburgh is Space City, USA, here in this region of the United States. In Pennsylvania and Ohio and West Virginia, that we're a space industry hub. So there's a lot of surprise and a lot of pride in the work that's happening right here. The moon, I think, is inspiring because the moon is our next door neighbor in space. The moon has many more resources than we realize. So we can go to the moon, learn how to live in those harsh conditions, and use the moon as a practice pad, as a test lab for perfecting technologies before we send people to Mars. No matter what your passions, no matter what your talents or interests, there's a place for you in space, and there's a place for you right here in this region. So I'd invite you to come down to Moonshot Museum, see spacecraft under construction, have a blast, and find your own place in the future of space.
Now, milk like it used to be. A family-run farm in Columbiana County with a simple dream, and they're turning out some unique dairy products. Take a trip to Columbiana County and you'll find Baker's Golden Dairy, a multi-generation family farm that for the past 12 years has been doing things a little differently.
My dad always had a dream of bottling his own milk and supplying local consumers with it, so they knew exactly where their milk was coming from and they could come visit us too as well. So we made that dream a reality in July 9th of 2011.
Casey Swope is the 6th generation of bakers to run the dairy farm, and when the family started to dabble in flavoring their milk with simple flavors like chocolate and strawberry, a simple mistake ended up combining the two and ended up becoming a hit.
Since then, we've done over 30 different flavors of milk. We've added drinkable yogurt, a line of buttermilk, a line of light cream, and a line of fromage blanc cheese spread, which is very similar to cream cheese. And we also do ice cream too as well, and lots of different unique flavors and novelty items too.
The milk and other products you'll find at Baker's stand out not only from the flavors, but the way that it's all done makes it enjoyable for even those with dietary restrictions.
We wanted to go back to the old days, back to how milk used to be. We don't high temperature pasteurize it, we bat pasteurize it. So it's pasteurized at a lower temperature, which means we don't hurt the enzymes, and people who are lactose intolerant are able to drink the milk.
And there's a reason for the Baker's motto when it comes to their milk.
Our quote is milk like it used to be. This is because when you go down to the barn and you see the milk in the bulk tank, it separates. You milk a cow and you leave it sit on the counter, the milk separates, the cream rises to the top.
All it takes is a quick shake of the bottle and your milk is ready to drink. And if you want to experience the farm for yourself, you stop by and visit the farm store or take a tour and get up close with the cows and learn all about the bottling process. Each day, there's something different going on.
If you stop on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are bottling milk, so you can look through the window in the storeroom and see us making products. Pretty much every other day from that, we're doing ice cream, where we might be making drinkable yogurt or cheese or some sort.
And with plans to one day pass the farm down to the next generation, Casey hopes to instill the lessons of farming she's learned into her own kids.
Growing up dairy farming my whole life really gives you a different aspect. It teaches you hard work and dedication. Each week we're not guaranteed the same amount of pay, for milk.
And the best part? Baker's Golden Dairy is just a one-tank trip away. From clay to kiln, how handcrafted tiles make their way to your home and beyond. Take a look.
We are a group of creative people that make handmade, distinctive American art tiles, both for installations like backsplashes, showers, fireplaces, all of that good stuff, and to be used as individual pieces of art that you can display on your wall like a painting or a print. Motawi Tileworks was founded in 1992 by Noelle Motawi, who is our owner and founder, so that's how we got our name from her last name. And she actually started out in a garage studio. So she was right off of Packard Road here in town. We've always been in Ann Arbor. We are now in this studio space. We moved in here in 2001, and we are 12 times the square footage of that original garage studio. Our first quality gallery, that's where you're going to see every art tile that we currently stock, as well as all of our display items. But here you have special access to the Boneyard, which is our second quality tiles that we sell there at deep discounts. So if we make a mistake, that tile's gonna end up in the Boneyard, and you have access to it for a discounted price. The wonderful thing about our process, again, is that we can take almost any image in any medium and transform it into a tile. So we're giving new life to historical images. We were unable to give tours for the past 3 years. We had previously given tours, and we are just so happy that we can welcome the public back into our studio so we can show the tile making process. It's a journey to create each one of these tiles. It's wonderful to share our process. It might inspire you to take your own ceramics journey or to find a piece of art that speaks to you. Art is something that's innately human. It is creative, it is beautiful, and it is inspirational.
And of course, the best part is, it's a one-tank trip. Check it out, the best place to go looking for Bigfoot, where you might catch a glimpse when we come back.
Have a suggestion for a segment or story? Email us at newday@fox8.com.
A size 17 shoe, 8 feet tall, big and hairy, this might be your chance to find Bigfoot. We're headed to Salt Fork State Park. It's a one-tank trip. Salt Fork State Park in Guernsey County is a huge park. It's the biggest park in Ohio with close to 20,000 acres.
The state began acquiring parcels of land, farms. There were over 200 farms that make up, what would be considered the park now. We have a little bit of everything here. We've got an unlimited horsepower lake, a really large lake. 74 miles of shoreline. We have hiking, camping, bridle trails, golf course, lodge cabins. We've got pretty much any recreational activity you would be interested in doing. Lots of people come out boating, lots of folks come out camping. We've got a really large campsite with full hookup sites.
But did you know that Salt Fork State Park is known for sightings of Bigfoot?
Ohio in general has a pretty rich history of Bigfoot sightings and Bigfoot activity. Salt Fork here, we're kind of situated in a nice part of eastern Ohio, this pretty rugged, hilly part of eastern Ohio that also has had a long tradition of reported Bigfoot and Sasquatch sightings and activities here.
This is called the Sasquatch Triangle, and the Sasquatch Triangle goes from this part of Guernsey County over into Musking, up to Coshocton, the Coshocton, New Philadelphia, and back down. So there's been more Bigfoot sightings in this part of Ohio than almost anywhere in the country. Remember, Bigfoot's an unpredictable thing. Does it live in Salt Fork Park? Absolutely not, it doesn't. But does it come through the area on a on a regular basis during the year? Of course it does. It comes through. This is natural way to get in and out, following around these trail systems and following the deer herd.
So I use it as part of our education out here. We do Bigfoot hikes all through the summer. There's a series of Bigfoot programs that I put on through the winter. So Bigfoot being part of the fabric of the local lore out here at Salt Fork, you know, it does add to the richness of the area.
Clever, silly, and downright beautiful, and you can even design your own. We're talking about beautiful stones. The Karruth Gift and Gallery, it's a one-tank trip.
Karruth Studio was founded by George Karruth in 1983. George went to college at CCAD in Columbus, which is the College of Art and Design. He would spend some time downtown on the lake shore, became inspired by a lot of the stone carving he saw in sandstone. Whether these were people's names or some other inscriptions, it was somewhat captivating to him, so he started doing some of these things in rocks himself. He took these home. His wife Deb was very impressed with them and said, "Hey George, I think we can sell these." He was taking the stones around to various juror shows throughout the country on the weekends. He became successful to the point that they said, "Hey, we can make a business out of this." He was approached by a catalog company, David K. Garden and Gift Catalog, and this gentleman was explaining how he would like to carry his artwork, and the first piece he decided to cast is the cat bird bath. They decided to call back in a couple weeks. David K. said, "We plan on putting this on the cover of our spring catalog," which they did. And so that really started launching Karruth into a process of sculpting in clay and wax material rather than carving in stone. The process starts with the original piece of art. From there we make what we call a couple of master castings and make additional molds. Those molds are filled with a mixture of cement, limestone, a couple other additives. Once that's cured, they're finished by hand. We stain those. What makes them unique is the artwork itself. There's a focus on nature. You'll see a tremendous amount of detail. As you might guess from looking around, many of these items find their way into a person's home. So while you can leave them outside year-round in any weather, that's how they're made. A lot of people will bring them in home and decorate their homes.
It's just a one-tank trip away. And we're just a few minutes away from our next stop, explore the STEM world with hands-on fun. This is COSI.
Welcome to COSI. This is the #1 rated science museum in the country, voted by USA Today, and we're so excited to show you around here. We have amazing exhibitions right here in the heart of Columbus, Ohio, just a short drive away from Cleveland. Some of our very best exhibits here at COSI are the Dinosaur Gallery by the American Museum of Natural History. We've got gadgets, ocean, progress. There's so much to see here. We even have an exhibit for little kids called Little Kid Space. In Dinosaur Gallery, you're gonna see real fossils that you've never seen before here at COSI. You're gonna find out how dinosaurs really didn't go extinct. They're actually present as birds. So you're gonna learn how that transition happened in the Dinosaur Gallery. Also, we have great exhibits about the progress in our daily life. When you walk into Progress, you're gonna step into the streets of the 1800s. But then you're also gonna see the progress that happened to the 1960s. And then when you step out, you step into the world of today. It's so cool. But if you're not into that sort of thing, we have gadgets. You can learn about simple machines and find out how science interacts with our daily life. Another great exhibit we have is Ocean. This is a COSI classic. And when you step in and see Poseidon with the great waterfalls, you can get chills. It's so fun to come in. Plus, we have some new things. If you haven't been to COSI in a while, we have a new coral game you can go and see, learn about underwater submersibles. Also, if you have little kids, we have an entire space dedicated to littles called Little Kid Space. Appropriate, right? So this is a place that little kids can run around, get their energy out. We have a water table, we have a marketplace, a hospital, a place that they can learn and grow, and we offer a giant place for them to do that. Cleveland is a great city for all sorts of activities, but Columbus is just a short drive away. It's a great place for a staycation, something new that you haven't seen. COSI has a lot to offer. It's for people of all ages. Of course, kiddos can come find hands-on science learning right here. And there's plenty more to do for adults as well, and we can't wait to show you everything.
Cheese in the making. See the process for yourself right after this short break. Is it a musical instrument or is it a cleaning device? They've been around since 1895 and they're still cleaning up. We're headed to the Columbus Washboard Company. It's a one-tank trip. Welcome to Logan, Ohio, a cute little town located midway between Athens and Columbus. Just across the street from the Hockey County Courthouse, you'll find the new location of the Columbus Washboard Company.
It was founded in 1895 in Columbus, Ohio. And then the family had gotten tired of running the business and were going to sell everything. A group of us got together and purchased it and moved it to Logan.
And now this is the only washboard company in the U.S. And surprisingly today, there are people who still use washboards to do laundry.
When I went to China for a month, I took my washboard with me and my clothesline and clothespins and soap and did my laundry while I was there for a month. There were people in apartment buildings still like to use washboards, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of the laundromats were closed and so people were forced to have to do their laundry at home.
If you're serious about using a washboard for your clothes, you'll be happy to know that the Columbus Washboard Company also sells their own soap. But washboards aren't just for cleaning.
So we have a lot of washboard musicians coming in and testing them and trying to hear the different sounds and different resonance. Well, one of our big customers is Disney, and we do a special board for them. They have a hoop-de-doo review and they get people to play along, and they also use it as a serving tray for the food.
Throughout the retail area, there are numerous washboards on display, and some are more than 150 years old. In the back, you'll find the assembly area where washboards are manually assembled.
The heads are what's on top, and this is why we have the finger joints to joint everything together.
There are guided tours 3 times a day where you can get a close-up view of the actual construction of new washboards.
It doesn't totally go all the way together with the press, so we tap it the rest of the way together with our wood box.
After the tour, you might want to grab an ice cream cone at Shorty's and head down the street to see the world's largest washboard hanging on the side of the old factory. Logan, Ohio, a delightful town to explore, and best of all, it's just a one-tank trip away. Here we go, jump back in the car and head towards Lyonsville, Pennsylvania. Guess what? You're going to see ducks walk on fish. Yeah, at Pymatuning State Park. Along the Ohio-Pennsylvania state line, you'll find a hidden treasure waiting to be explored.
Pymatuning is most known for the thing we're going to look at today, is the spillway. And the spillway attracts 400,000 visitors a year. It sort of is a natural oddity that people come to see this. So this reservoir was built in 1931, and there's a bowl, we call it. It's a little dam that basically raises the lake elevation 10 feet. And even in the 1930s, 1931, people would stop by here with their Model T Fords on the way through, and carp would gather at the spillway bowl and they would feed them there.
That's right. The spillway attracts swarms of carp due to the oxygen and nutrients brought in by the flowing water. The phenomenon has become famous, and the spillway is undoubtedly a sight to behold. But Pymatuning State Park has even more in store for outdoor enthusiasts.
Pymatuning Lake, or reservoir, I should call it, it's one of the best fisheries in Pennsylvania. We have an outstanding walleye fishery, crappie, bass, and muskie fishery. And they raise fish for all over the state of Pennsylvania. But they raise over 700,000 walleye fingerling a year that are placed in the Pymatuning Reservoir. The hatchery is a great place to go. There's an aquarium there with all native Pennsylvania fish right here from the lake. It's multiple levels, so you can see the catfish on the bottom or the perch more up towards the top. A lot of people don't realize this, but it's a fantastic place to watch bald eagles.
The park's rich wildlife and recreational opportunities make it a perfect destination for families.
They came out to go fishing. Peace of mind. Quiet. You can fish out here. You don't got to worry about nothing.
We have the most campsites of any state park in Pennsylvania. We have 3 campgrounds. We have a lot of handicapped accessible facilities. We've really focused on trying to make our facilities accessible as possible for all visitors. We're excited. We just built a new bicycle trail here last year. And it's just a very scenic ride. You see a lot of birds, people that are into birding.
One of the most popular tourist attractions in all of Pennsylvania, and it's just a 1-tank trip away. Cheese in the making. Taste and witness the Swiss tradition of Pearl Valley cheese. Nestled just south of Amish country, Pearl Valley Cheese has been manufacturing high-quality products for almost 100 years, founded by Swiss immigrants Ernest and Gertrude Stalder.
When my grandfather came in 1919, he wanted to be a dairy farmer. That's what he was trained in Switzerland. But when he came, he didn't have enough money to buy a farm and all those things that you needed to do to milk cows. So he started working for small Swiss cheese plants in the area. And after 7 years, he had enough money saved to buy his own little plant.
And today, Pearl Valley turns out over 45,000 pounds of cheese each day, 5 days a week, 12 months a year.
We make about 14 varieties of cheese, but all those varieties fall basically into 2 categories, either Swiss or Colby type cheeses, but all kinds of varieties in those cheeses.
And besides the quality of the cheese, one thing that remains constant and important since the early days, the tradition of a sense of family.
We have grown over the years here, and we have a lot of cutting edge equipment, and you'll be able to see that. But we also still have a lot of tradition of family here, and when people come to work here, they are our family. We have about 65 employees now, and to us, they're all family.
Nearly a dozen original family members remain in the business today, but it's not just the employees considered family, but the customers too.
Do you guys want to bite of something else?
And they all share the same philosophy: eat more cheese.
If you come here and you want to taste something, we're good with that. We offer samples. We want you to come and try cheese because we want you to get the cheese that you like.
Anything else, guys?
We also have wonderfully friendly people who work here, and they want to see you.
Pearl Valley also hosts facility tours every Wednesday morning. And the best part is, it's just a 1-tank trip. Play ball. That's right. Take a swing with a bat meant just for you. Coming up.
Road trips, recipes, and much more. Go to fox8.com and click on the New Day Cleveland tab.
They say outdoors, but it's really indoors, and it's in the middle of the city. We're headed to the Outdoor Adventure Center. It's a 1-tank trip.
The Outdoor Adventure Center was created by the State of Michigan's DNR department to be a bridge between where most of the people in Michigan live and where all the parks are, which are 2 different places in Michigan, right? And so we want to create that feeling of up north, right downtown here in Detroit, so that we can reach and encourage a whole new generation to be responsible outdoor users and good stewards in nature. We try and do a little bit of every part of Michigan. So you can walk through a cave and we'll talk about what we mine in Michigan. You can sit in a boat and fish to a screen of actual fish in Michigan. You can sit in a kayak and paddle. You can fly like an eagle on the 3rd floor and you'll go over the Chiquamanam River and Chiquamanam Falls, as well as the riverfront and Belle Isle. So we encourage you to do here. This is a museum of sorts, but it's really an active location where you engage in all the activities, and the engagement works for every age. We have a lot of simulators. There's a snowmobile, and the trails on that particular screen, you sit on a real snowmobile, but the trails are from Ontonagon, which is in the UP. And then we also have an ORV, and those trails are actually fairly local. A lot of them are right in this area. And then we have some of these like interesting little pop-ups, right? So we have a bear cave. And when you crawl into the bear cave, you might wake the bear up, it might growl at you. It is the only center of its kind in the nation. This is a kind of a hybrid between a museum and a nature center. Everything in here is from Michigan. Michigan flora, Michigan fauna. This is Michigan based. And so we want to only show off what people should learn about and know about here in Michigan. For most of our visitors who have not visited a state park or been farther up north, you know, in Michigan we do everything this way, farther up north than the knuckle, right? So those people go, wow, I didn't know that the pictured rocks were so beautiful. And they go, well, wait, how far away is that and where is that located? We have a beautiful interactive state park map that gets people looking, like searching, the adults are searching now, where can I go next? By bringing people in, we're sending them back out. Right? That's the beauty.
It's America's favorite pastime, but where do those bats come from? Well, our next one tank trip takes us to Plain City. This is Phoenix Bat Company. Few American institutions are as old or beloved as baseball. At an industrial park near Columbus, we found a company that embraces the passion and history of the game.
In 1996, the founder of our company, Charles Trudeau, was playing vintage baseball. It's where they play the 1860s rules or the 1860s clothing.
A lot of guys on his team knew of his woodworking skill and you know, kind of pitched the idea to him about, hey, could you try making some bats?
And that's how the Phoenix Bat Company came to be born, or reborn.
He called it Phoenix Bat Company because he was only making vintage bats, and the phoenix rises from the ashes every 100 years. All the vintage bats he was making was out of ash.
By 1999, he was also making modern bats for professional baseball players. Phoenix Bats still makes faithful vintage reproductions, but they also make premium custom bats for anyone.
People come in, they need a bat. Well, I've got bats all over that I can sell you, but I need the right bat for you. So we always ask you what type of hitter you are, where do you hit in the lineup, and you got to be honest, because you know, a 14-year-old kid, if you ask him what type of hitter you are, everybody's a power hitter.
When we do our fits here, it's really more or less about let's find the right bat that feels correct in your hands, because hitting is such a difficult thing to do no matter what level you play at. If we can instill the confidence when they walk out of here with a bat that they know feels right, it just kind of eases the mind a little bit when they get up to the plate, so it's one less thing they have to worry about.
The bats are made from pro-grade maple, birch, or ash wood, and the production process is fascinating, surprisingly fast, and incredibly precise.
We're very blessed to have the machine that we do. The Locatelli CNC lathe that we have is one of 3 in the world that are used in our industry to make baseball bats. You won't find anything more accurate and more precise. We're able to program to the exact millimeter exactly what we want each bat to measure at from every inch mark along the bat.
These bats are a product of passion and a love for the game. That's evident in the people you meet here.
I'm very proud of what we do, and whether we're selling 1 million bats a year or we're selling 30,000 bats a year, I'm very proud of how we approach everything.
So if you want to swing for the fences, there's no need to go to Arizona. This Phoenix is just a one-tank trip. A brand you'll know, based right here in Ohio. Up next, we're exploring Smuckers. An hour south of Cleveland, you'll find Orrville, Ohio, home of the J.M. Smucker Company.
The company was started in 1897 by Jerome Smucker. He started selling apple butter, and the business has just grown from there.
And grown it has. They now employ 6,500 people in the U.S. Our adventure today brings us to the J.M. Smucker Company store.
So the idea of the store was to be a showcase for all the brands that the J.M. Smucker Company owns. We feature several products from different lines that we carry.
The store attracts visitors from all over, even some frequent visitors who come all the way from California.
We had a gentleman land a helicopter one time for Folgers coffee.
In the back of the store, there's a multimedia timeline showing the company's roots and key milestones from its 125-year history.
So there's panels on the wall back there that give you a detailed timeline of all the family history, when things have transitioned, when we've acquired brands, and kind of how the company has grown through the years. I think it's fun for them to explore new products that they've not seen before, discover new items that have come out as exclusives.
Such as mixed fruit jelly.
So mixed fruit jelly has apple, grape, cherry, and strawberry all mixed together, and it's only available here at the store in Cat.
On your visit to the store, be sure to check out the Sweet Picks kiosk,
where you can actually take and customize a jelly jar with your photo on it and some special artwork and taglines. Select the product that you're wanting to customize. All you have to do is bring in a photo, and we send it to our system. The system will let you generate a code, put that code into our system, and you can customize the artwork and the taglines, and then we can print them out and send them with you on your way.
Well, it turns out you don't have to be over 100 years old, not even close, to have your face on this jar. And you can get one too at the J.M. Smucker Company store. And best of all, it's just a one-tank trip away. After the break, taste your way through Columbus, where you can take a food tour through Ohio's capital. Now this is my kind of adventure, a tour that specializes in all kinds of foods and beverages. The Columbus Food Adventures, it's a one-tank trip.
Our business is Columbus Food Adventures, and Columbus Food Adventures is a food tour company. We've been in business since 2010, and we lead guided food tours all over Central Ohio. Guided food tour, for those who aren't familiar with it, it is a cross between a traditional guided tour, where you're getting some history and some architecture, learning about a neighborhood, but as it's a food tour, food is going to magically appear at all of the places that you visit. We started off with 3 tours, and now we offer more than 10 different itineraries, showcasing all different neighborhoods in Central Ohio. Most of our tours are walking tours. We do some van tours, and on a walking tour, you're typically going to visit 5 or 6 different restaurants, have different tastes at each one, learn about the business, what's special about it, enjoy your food sample, and also learn background, learn about the neighborhood and the area that you're visiting. Normally a tour is going to last about 3 to 4 hours, depending on the itinerary and how spread out the stops are. Normally you're walking between half a mile to 2 miles. Some of our tours are a little bit further, but typically half a mile to a mile. And you're going to visit 5 to 6 different food stops, and you're going to have something to eat at each of the stops. One of the things that we love about food tours is that they're great for anyone who loves to eat. So we have everyone from students and teenagers up to retirees. We have a lot of customers, all different ages, all different demographics. Anyone who's curious, loves food, loves learning about different neighborhoods, enjoys eating. I love to eat, I love to travel, and I also have a background in education. So I love to share information with people. I love to highlight the food scene we have here and all the wonderful independent restaurants and food businesses. Columbus is a really great food scene just because we have a lot of diversity here. I think people are often surprised by how diverse our food scene is in Columbus. We have restaurants from over 40 different nationalities. Even just in the North Market here alone, you can see we have Lebanese and Moroccan and Vietnamese and Somali and Korean and Cuban. So I think there's just this real wealth of diversity. The city of Columbus is growing, and the number of restaurants is also growing. When you come and visit Dublin, you get a really great mixture of old and new. There's just a lot to see. It's really pedestrian friendly. There's a lot here to do for families, for anyone of any age, but particularly we think a food tour is a great way to get to know Dublin. If somebody from Cleveland hasn't been to Columbus in a while, now is a great time to revisit and see what's new here.
Well, that wraps up our year-round road trip. And if you missed any of the locations or you want to learn more, just head to fox8.com and click on the New Day tab. You'll find a list of all of today's featured businesses. So hop in the car, fill up that tank, and have some great fun. I'm David Moss, and I'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.